Hi, my name is Tammy, and this is the Rusted Willow. Today I have this Art Deco vanity that I redid probably 10 to 15 years ago for my niece. And I was not thrilled with the colors that she picked, but it was for her, not for me. And so I did what she wanted. And today I'm going to redo it and make it gorgeous. And it turns out absolutely stunning. I love it. Now, this video is just a little bit longer, and that's because I do the vanity and I do the seat, and I show you how I recover it. And there's also the mirror, which I don't show you because it's kind of the same process as the vanity. But we're going to start with cleaning, and then we are going to sand. Okay, so I'm just making sure that I am getting this nice and smooth. I want a smooth surface. I'm going to be using really good paint, and so I just want to make sure that when I do this scuff sanding, because I'm not taking it down to the bare wood, that it has something to adhere to. I did put a clear coat on this way back when, and so I just want to make sure that I get all of that off. And then I'm going to take my air compressor and just blow it off really well. And then I do wipe it down again. Now, this vanity I started back in November. It was either right before the Barbie movie came out or right after the Barbie movie came out. But I wanted to get this done and in my booth as soon as possible because I am going to be painting it a beautiful shade of pink. So like I said, I started this in November and I literally just finished it the end of March. And somehow I lost one of the drawer pulls between November and March. I only have 3 now. I don't know what happened to the 4th one. It's here somewhere, I'm sure, but I just don't know where. So anyway, I get all the hardware off. I did have them all together. So I don't understand how I only have 3 because literally all of the screws and the hardware and the pieces that go to the mirror were all together except for one mirror holder, one little mirror clip, and one drawer pull. So anyway, so I do go and I sand the inside of the drawers. I just want to make sure that there's a nice clean finish, and I sand everything, just light scuff sand. I don't know why I can't say that. Scuff sand. So I scuff sand everything. Oh my goodness. It's not even that late, guys. It's only 10:30. So I scuff sand everything inside and out in all the drawers, and then I make repairs. So the inside of this drawer was coming away from the front of the wood piece on the drawer. So I just add my wood glue, nice generous amount of wood glue. You want to wipe that wood glue off, but you can also sand it off if you don't get it all. And then I just clip it together. That one was so hard to get apart. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the clip open. So I clamp it down in all the places, make it tight, wipe off the excess glue. And then I'm also repairing this piece on the top of the vanity. I just put a can of paint. That is the actual paint that I'm going to be using for this vanity. And I brought out several different options because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go with this paint color or not. But I ended up going with Annie Sloan Antoinette chalk paint. And it turns out absolutely gorgeous. So here I am. I'm working on the stool. Now the stool I started in March and I got it done in March. But I did the stool last. I did the vanity first, then the stool. And I love how the stool turns out. So I do the same process. I wipe it all down and then I scuff sand everything. Oh my gosh, I said it right this time. And I just make sure that I am using 220, I'm using 220 grit with this sander because I want to make sure that I have a nice smooth surface. And then I just kind of clean up any paint that's here and there and everywhere. And then I'm going to fill the holes on the front of this drawer. Actually, I do all 4 drawers, but this is what my wood filler looks like. So I'm going to have to add some more water to that. Or I might have just thrown it away. I can't remember. But anyway, so I end up using this plastic wood product, and it is a really good product. I really like it. And I didn't realize that it was upside down when I showed you in the camera. But it's a really good product. You just need to wear gloves when you actually use it because it does not come off your hands very easily. I had to scrub and scrub and scrub to get it off my hands. And it's really, really cold when you use it. It's weird. I don't know what kind of chemicals it has in it, but you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it with your fingers. You should use a little putty knife or something, or wear gloves. Now, I'm just taping off the drawers because I am going to be painting the outside of the drawers. She liked this peach and teal design or colors together, and I don't know. That might have been popular back in the 80s. I don't know if it was ever popular, but I hated the colors. Hated it. And I tried to talk her out of it, and she would not budge. So anyway, it wasn't for me. It was for her. So I am going to be using my Zebra triangle brush, and I'm going to be using this Coal Black Fusion paint, which is an all-in-one paint. It's got your primer and your top coat all in one. So I just need to do a couple coats of this coal black on the sides, and we'll be good to go. And I actually end up giving the drawers 3 coats because this peach color would not cover. Like, I just wanted to make sure that I had really good coverage and that this paint wasn't going to chip off. So I gave it 3 good coats, and I gave it light coats too. I didn't just dump a bunch of paint on here. So I gave it 3 light coats because I wanted to make sure that each coat was dried in between. And since this was going to be on a drawer on the outside and opening and closing, I wanted to make sure that it was good and adhered. And I actually do go over the drawers with a top coat just to make sure that it doesn't scrape off. Which the sides of these drawers were in really good shape before I sanded them. So I just like to overdo it a little bit, I think. So then I am taking my putty knife and adding some wood filler. Now this is different wood filler, not the plastic wood, to the sides of the vanity because I don't like those little gaps in there. And I just wanted it to look more put together. So I fill all the gaps, and I do a much better job of redoing this vanity than I did the first time. But I mean, 10, 12 years ago, I didn't redo a lot of furniture. And then I'm going to use my Annie Sloan oval bristle brush. and my Annie Sloan paint in Antoinette. And I believe I already gave these one coat, and I don't know where that footage is, but I am just going over these drawers again because I'd already painted them once, and I might have already painted them twice, but I just wanted to make sure that they were good and clean because, like I said, I started this vanity in November and I didn't get back to it until March. So I think I sanded the tops of these after I painted them, and then I'm giving them another coat of the Annie Sloan chalk paint. That's why there's white fingerprints all over the sides. And I may have just forgot to hit record. I can't remember. Not really sure, but I have sawdust all over my hands because I just made another thumbprint. And I am just giving this light coats. So now I'm going to start on these stripes. And I went back and forth about just painting it all pink or painting it all black with pink stripes. But I decided on the pink, and I'm going to add some black stripes to the front of this dresser. But I did go back and forth. I wasn't sure what color to paint it. I guess it's not a dresser, it's a vanity. But I don't know. I just love how it turns out. So you're going to have to let me know if you like it or not. But I kind of do a glam look to it. So, and I do something really fun with the stool. So you'll have to stick around to the end to see that. Now I'm taking my oval Annie Sloan brush and I am painting the base coat of the Antoinette pink so that when I go to paint my black stripes, I don't have the bleeding. So once the Antoinette is dry, and I honestly didn't wait for it to dry all the way, but that's okay. Most of it was dry because it dried super quick for some reason in some places, and it didn't dry super quick in other places. So anyway, but it's okay. I just go over the black stripe a couple more times, but I do go over the pink first to seal the edges of the tape. And I am using the same coal black fusion paint. And then while the paint is still wet, I pull the tape off and I have a perfect line. Absolutely perfect. Love it. Okay, so now I am using 600 grit sandpaper on the drawers because I want to get an extremely smooth surface. Now you can use 400, 600, anything in that caliber. I had the 600 out and I was already using it because I also sanded the top of the vanity as well. And I am using this big top as my sealer. Because the Annie Sloan is a chalk paint, you need to seal it with either a wax or a top coat, and I chose a top coat. And I just put a top coat on all of these drawer faces. Now, I'm actually putting a very light coat on, and then I go back and I put 2 more coats. So I put 3 coats of the top coat on the front of the dresser or vanity drawers. I don't know why I keep calling it a dresser. It's a vanity, Tammy. Vanity. So I do extremely light coats and then it dries super quick. And then I just go back and put another coat on. So now I'm cleaning the sides of the drawers and I'm getting ready to put a top coat on them as well. And I use the same big top as the top coat. Oh, look, I get it dirtier. It's really okay because honestly, the top coat covers the drawers and you can't even tell that there was sawdust on there. So it's not a big deal. I'm trying to keep out all the little fuzzies. I do such a light coat of this big top that you can see the drawer next to me that I'm working on is drying as I'm painting this on. Okay, so now I take this stool outside to the vanity and I give it a good coat of the 2x flat white primer before I paint it in the Antoinette. On this day, it is super windy and I'm trying to spray paint this and most of it is just blowing away. The last week we have had like wind advisory weather every single day. It's just been crazy with this wind. It's been a huge struggle to kind of get your projects done because if you need to spray paint anything, you either need to put up a tent or have a spray paint corner or something. But I'm telling you what, it's ugh. The wind here in Kansas is insane. Okay, so now I tape off the drawers or the front of the vanity one more time, and I'm taking this very small detailed brush because there is a groove in the vanity where the stripes are, and I decided that I wanted the groove to be black and not pink. So I'm just going in and cleaning that up and adding the black to the groove. All right, so here I am just giving this a second coat on the stripe as I am filling in the grooves on this vanity. And then I decide, okay, I'm going to go do the groove on the little stool. So did I tape it off? No, I didn't. So I'm just being brave and freehanding this. And it turns out pretty good, actually. I did have to go back and touch up a little bit of pink. But what I learned was if you go in the same direction, it makes a pretty darn clean line. So it actually turns out pretty well. I just have to go in one direction. When I learned that tip or trick, I learned that on the back side. I'm like, oh, if you don't go back and forth and you just go in one direction, it gives you a clean line, and then you don't have to go and clean up the pink. Yes. So the tip of the day is just go in one direction and you will get a clean line every time. Okay, so now I am taking this gator hide from Dixie Belle and I am going to use it for the top of the vanity. I hear other creators say that it's very durable and it's like the best top coat out there. So I thought I would give it a try. Now I give this a light coat and I give it 2 coats for the top of this vanity. And this stuff was drying super quick. I think on this day it was like 78 degrees out. So it was kind of warm, and it was drying as soon as I put it on. It dried really quickly. So I did 2 good coats of the gator hide, and then I moved on to clear coating the rest of the dresser. Now I went back and forth whether to use wax or clear coat, and I just thought I would use clear coat over the whole entire vanity. I called it a dresser again. Oh my goodness. But as you can see, like, I just went over it and it's drying. And maybe I don't have enough on my brush, but from my angle when I was painting it on, it looked like it was covered everywhere. But in the second coat, I get better coverage. And it's literally almost drying. So I started with my top coat on the sides, and I'm going to do the sides and the front in the big top as the top coat, and because I already did the drawers in big top, and I want the sheen to be the same, even though it's still a matte finish with the gator hide and the big top. They kind of have a different sheen, so that's why I am doing the big top on the front and the sides and in the middle, and then I'm doing gator hide on top, just because I want the top to be more durable. And I went back and touched up the black on the edges before I clear coated that. I let that dry, and then I went back in with my clear coat. Now I am using Lavender Fields by Fusion, and this is like drawer wax, and it smells delicious. Absolutely amazing stuff. It conditions your wood and gives it a nice smell. So when you open up your drawers, it'll smell like lavender. I put this on all over in all 4 drawers because I like to add that little touch of elegance. I feel like it's elegant because it just makes the wood look so much better and conditioned and not so dry. And it also smells good. I'm showing you my Annie Sloan paint. Like, there's rust in there. I don't know why they have them in these metal cans. I love the metal cans for crafting. After they get all chunky and icky and rusty and stuff, I set them outside to rust, and I love that. But man, I used that whole pint on this vanity. Okay, so now I'm working on the seat, and I have my new upholstery tools and my staple puller and my needle nose pliers, and I just go to town on this seat, and I just take off that faux leather material. I didn't like it, and I just take out all the staples, get it all cleaned up. And this foam is actually in perfect condition. So I did not replace the foam. It was in perfect condition, just a little discolored, which is fine. That's not going to hurt anything. And now I'm working on the drawers again. I am cutting down this peel and stick wallpaper to fit in each of the drawers. I mark it with pencil, and then I hold it there with a straight edge. Make sure that it fits in the drawers, and I'm going with a gold geometric stripe, geometric design, because I feel like it's Art Deco and it matches the era of the vanity. So here is that design. I absolutely love it. You're going to have to let me know what you think. Do you like this? Does anybody know where I got it? I'm sure a lot of my viewers have seen this before, but I think it goes in there perfectly and it matches the era of the dresser. So I'm just showing you in a little slower motion that I fold back the top just to get it started. I hold it up to the edge of the drawer and I start it, pressing it down and then pulling and pressing it down as I go. And it's in there perfectly. Fits perfect. And now we're going to work on the seat. So I have this batting and I'm just going to cut it down with a straight edge because I did not bring my scissors out to the garage and I wasn't going to go in for the 100th time to get some scissors. So I just cut this down with a straight edge. Just be careful when you're cutting it down that you don't cut off too much. I actually did a really good job cutting it down. Anyway, you want like 3 or 4 inches hang over on either end, either side. And then you can either staple this all at the same time or you can staple each piece one at a time. So I opted to staple the batting on first in a few places, and I don't just go around every little inch. I just tack it on one side and then the other, and then I'm showing you what kind of staples I'm using. They're actually, I don't know what it's called, but they're pointed so that they go in hardwood easier, and they look like little teeth. So those are the staples I'm using. And so I just tacked down this batting with staples. My husband thought I needed his staple gun. So here's a better look at the staples. They are pointed so that they will go in the wood a lot better. And by this point, my hands were killing me. So I was kind of struggling with this material. But you want to go east, west, or east and west, and then north and south. So you do a couple staples on one side, a couple staples on the opposite side, and then you do end to end. That way your material doesn't move and you get a nice even stretch around whatever you're trying to upholster. So then he is working on stapling this for me, and then I said, wait, let me cut this down a little bit. So I cut out some of the bulk of the batting, and then I also cut down the material that we're putting on the top of the seat. And then I wanted the corners to be a certain way so that they didn't look bulky. And so I showed him how I wanted the corners. Now, I just folded them down like a present, like you would wrap a present, because that's the cleanest look. And you don't want your corners to be real bulky and have a lot of material there. And if it is too much material, you can always cut some more out. He is strong enough to staple it in for me. So we just go around the edges and make sure that it's good and stapled because you don't want that coming off or moving. And that's what it looks like. I love the material on this bench. I think it is so fun. So let me know what you guys think. How are you liking it so far? Now all I had to do was figure out what kind of knobs to put on here. I have no idea. And then we had to attach the mirror. So we didn't actually attach the mirror until we got to my booth because I didn't want the mirror to get broken or something fly through the air as we're transporting it in the back of the truck. So we don't attach it at home. You will see the final look once it's in place in my booth. I am just showing you, he scolded me for not drilling the holes before I painted. And I explained to him that I didn't know what kind of knobs I wanted to go with. So I couldn't drill the holes first. Drilling the holes is going to be the last thing I do because I have to decide on some knobs. I went with these GLAM knobs and I love them. They are actually in my Amazon store if you're interested in them. And that's what we put on there. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much if you're returning. And if you are new here, welcome. And please consider subscribing and hitting that thumbs up for me. Make sure to hit the little bell. That way you're notified every time I upload a new video. And it is finally time for the final reveal. And if you've stuck around this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It will be worth the wait. So let me know what you think. I think this vanity is so fun and glam with the drawer pulls, and I think it's just right. It's not over the top or too much. I think it is super cute. And then you got the pop of color on the side with the black when you pull out the drawers. And then you also have the fun wallpaper. So here it is with the mirror on the back. The mirror is nothing special. It's just square, but that's how it came. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend.